Yeah,
Bill,
report.
I'm just going, and until you can get in, I'm gonna keep you on the phone. We'll hang up as soon as you're on the Zoom call. Okay, with that said, we do have a quorum. Approval of minutes. July 9, everybody have a chance to review them? Changes? If anybody needs them, I do have the stuff here.
Make motion that we approve the minutes.
Second. Bill made the motion, seconded by Betty, all in favor? Aye. The treasurer's report, first up is, review and adoption of the fiscal year 25 budget. For those who may not have had a chance to really look at it, we did bring extra copies. You wanna pass this around? And I'm gonna follow it up, because the next thing she's gonna talk about is the balance sheet. We'll get all the financials assured to you.
Thank you.
You need another one?
Okay. I have one. The balance sheet went around that way. You want over there? I have, I only put one across. That's the balance in the one pager. Don't put any extra, I put them all out, Joe. Okay, well, everyone should have a copy, this is what I gave you on that, right? Right, this was, that was emailed out, in case she had a hard time reading on the screen and wanted to reference it, there's a hard copy for you now. So, Joe, do you want to give a little overview? Sure. This is the first report that I made, and it's also the first formal report for under DAC TV. So, and it operated differently than the fall operated. So Paul wanted, I think Paul was encouraging me to continue reporting the way he reported, and I'm resisting. I want to report the way that provides the reports because we paid money for that. I figured that's where we want to go. Yes. So anyway, under current assets, we have, I always have $20. Paul had it, and I have $20 cash on hand, and I will take a look. In the bank, this is as of July 31st, we have $32,429.03. And receivable is $9,099.00. Receivable is when I issue an invoice, the day that it gets posted is the day that it becomes receivable. I sent out our dues on July 31st. So this is basically, the receivable is the amount of dues, payment cards, fines, and any money that were owed in July. Like for no shows for an event, which I think we had one or two. So, so that's different, that, it's not actually in the bank, but it's money that is posted and should be paid within the next 30 days. So our current assets for July, the end of July, including our receivables, $41,548.03. I'm not sure what retained earnings is, but we have 31,000 worth of retained earnings. And I think the retained earnings for a visual history project is incorrect. We posted it, Paul posted it, and I was there when he did it, but I'm not sure what it is. Okay, but I think when we were talking, invisible history had been allocated a fixed amount of money, and I think it was around $800, somewhere $700 to $800 that hadn't been spent yet. And to me, that would be retained earnings, money from the last year. And we also should have retained earnings for the 100th anniversary for the artwork of a couple $1,000, and that doesn't show up. So I just wanted to point those out to you. We will be figuring it out as we go, learning more and verifying if visible history project number is right, then I'll let you know that next time. But hopefully we'll be able to fix that and also put in the 100th anniversary for the artwork going forward as a retained earnings. So that's basically our liabilities and other things.
Expense.
He in now?
If you want.
Bill, is he in now?
Nope.
Okay, so then we get into our income and expense statement. And this is for the month of July. You will see the third column says annual budget, and, the annual budget, which hasn't been approved yet, but I told Jack Finance to spread the sub member dues over the year. So that's why you will see the large number and, what, again, under annual budget, that's basically what we're owed. I haven't. Bill went out on the 31st, I didn't. But I did get back to the law. Okay. So you'll notice that, we had member fines for no pins, $1. We had, member fines for phone ringing, $5. Annual induction dinner, I had payments that were due. So, and the way we set up is we have an income account and a charitable income account. So it's a regular operating expenses and charitable. So you'll see under charitable income, you will see the Happy Dollars, you'll also see, the prep cake proceeds, which is $10,864.05. And moving on, contributions to the bookmobile, 371 so far. Raffle proceeds, that's -$34 for the reimbursing, still paying for the raffle tickets, which he purchased for. So our total income, are listed, and they're also summarized at the bottom. I did do that because Paul had added to the report. On the last page, you will see that I did the operating income less operations expenses and brought it forward to show what we're bringing forward, both on the charitable income side and on the operations, charitable and operations. And hopefully, as we tweak any of these numbers, they will be reflected in the last page. So that should give you a running total of where we are financially. You had a chance to read it. Anyone have any questions? I don't know if I can answer, but I'll try.
So just so it's clear, everybody, we are anticipating, if need be, that we have a surplus of funds, or we use some of that surplus to offset the budget.
So, I keep finding it now, but I thought I saw another thing in there, another wrap. Spring raffle.
Yeah. That was entered as part of the budget.
That's not been a tradition here, doesn't mean you always do it.
50/50 spring raffle, tax raffle,
Yeah.
profit, yeah.
So there will be some more clarification, you may not have to do that.
We didn't do it.
They are doing the raffle for the party. Remember we raffled off tickets that night, the 100th anniversary?
Okay, yeah.
That's how we
We had a 50/50
accomplished that, yeah. Any other questions? There's a lot for everybody, but one early, so I really applaud Joan and Paul for working with me to meet my deadline, that we can get our budget resolved, adopted, and we can move on to the fun part of it.
Paul did a lot of work, and now he's taking a vacation.
I have a motion to adopt our annual budget.
So moved.
Second, Libby. That was Bill, Libby, second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? None. Excellent. Within there, I just wanted to spotlight, we had put in, a new line item, under expenses that we're gonna track our IT related expenses now that we have some with the new software, et cetera. Part of that is, we set up our own website, and we're trying to get better control of that. We actually have 2 domain names, and we wanna make sure we have control of both of them, the .org and the .com one. We've got funds in the budget, but I just wanted to highlight everybody's attention. I would hope you are okay with me going ahead and paying for both of those and maintaining control of those 2. We're gonna spread one of the costs out a little bit, so one, we'd like to do the 5-year payment option, so go ahead and pay 5 years of maintaining that domain name right up front for $175. The second one we'll just do for right now, a 1-year annual cost of $40. And then next year, we'll move that one also to a 5-year rate, bring us to a cheaper rate, just so we're not putting the budget all at once, $275.
Well, why do we have to?
Well, that's a good question. And it was so easy to do when I was spending $17 for, and setting up the website. And it was done, it's really for the convenience of members. They can be trained. It's not essential. But the problem is that once you sign up for these things, you can, if you let them lapse, you're never going to get them back. You can, but it's very expensive. And it has become a common game on the internet that lapsed domain names are immediately scarfed up. And then resold. I mean, and the only buyer may be the original person. But when I was singing with a barbershop group up in Easton, I joined and they had just let their domain name lapse, and GoDaddy wanted $350 and just to
That's a whole nother.
so I could get it back.
So I want to know, it's only $40 a year for a domain listing.
Yes.
Who's that do? You know?
Actually, they work with GoDaddy. I mean, the 40, I'm sorry, the prices that we're being quoted are through DACDB, but DACDB actually works through GoDaddy, which is relatively
So
inexpensive.
is DACDB getting a deal? The reason I asked is because the domain listing. So something's not right somewhere.
I don't know about that.
Because ours is called, well, matter of fact, it's called domain listings.
I suspect you can do better. But you need to watch out. And just so everyone understands, this is being presented as an up or down vote, but there is a middle ground that we don't want to take. And that middle ground is where I reserve the domain name for $25 a year. But this package the better package comes with a secure connection. So the last thing we want to do is to just open either our members or the website to whatever shenanigans a high school student in Romania might wish to visit upon. So, and really I throw that out for Bill's, so Bill knows. You want to make sure that you get that secure socket layer, SSL certificate.
So through DACDB, who was hosting our website and handling all this, they will ensure that we really only have one website, and just anybody who types in .com and .org will get directed to our website, and not the one that Jim had started before and the one that we then put in place about 2 months ago.
Did you do the .com one?
I did both.
Which one is?
They're both, it doesn't matter, so
We did, or
we did, it ended up being the .com, and it took it
But-
through the last like 2 weeks, we finally got it cleaned up, so that it's all directly now. Whatever you type, it's directly to our page.
Which is, if I tell somebody this is our website, which tell them,
You can use either one. So you guys need to let me know, do you care? And
Pick one that you like.
yeah, so we do you want it accelerated.org or .com?
I vote for .org, but we just said,
But we wanna really promote it and make people aware of doing this, and we consistently say the same thing.
that's
Which do we want? .org or .com?
For .org.
Yeah, that was actually my thinking at the time, that we would use .org. But when someone sits down and they misremember and they type in .com, they'll still get there.
So let's do that, so our official website is .org. Everybody good with that? Yep. Okay. That was the only additional note I had on the budget. So Joan had already gone through the June financial statement, which was contained on the budget presentation. But we should take a formal vote on that on its own as the July. Can I have a vote on the July, accepting the July financial statements?
Second.
From Betty, seconded by Bill, all in favor? Aye. Excellent. Things that we didn't quite get to the last round, and one new one, from last month's meeting, voting on some funding requests. So from the bookmobile grant, we had talked to you about it, we told you about the grant award, and as of yesterday evening in my mail, came a check for $11,250. It's in my purse, I'll give it to Joan at dinner tonight. So she gets deposited. Jim has put in a request that we go ahead and ensure we have standing authorization, that Joan can cut the necessary checks as we start to incur expenses of working, putting in place the bookmobile grant project. Both the $11,250 district grant award and the match money of $650 coming from the three club, just our club and.
Just our club, 500 each from the others.
And who's the 150 from?
Interact.
Okay. And we don't have yet the revenue coming in from the other two clubs. We have put the request out, and they just haven't submitted.
Second, Broadwater, Interact.
No, Northampton.
I'm thinking of it.
So.
Barbara Parker's up there.
Everybody understand it? Just, we're not necessarily gonna cut the check today, but when Joan gets the call, she will do so.
This is, you know,
Say that again?
this is for the grant.
Yes. The local, yes, so we can start spending and moving that grant forward, yes. So can I have a motion to that effect?
So
Libby, a second, Betty? Any questions?
Can I interrupt?
Paul wants to say something.
Go ahead, Paul.
Hello, I'm on Zoom, but I can barely hear you guys. I can't really make out the content. Maybe if Bill moves the computer to the
I've got
table.
the mic on the center of the table.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, turn your volume up.
I do have the volume up. All right, it's distorted though. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Talk louder. So
Give him talk into it, give him a test.
Can you hear me, Paul?
Yes, I can hear that.
Speaking into the speaker. All right,
Talk up.
we'll talk louder.
So I have
Okay.
a motion and a second, to authorize as the treasurer to release the checks necessary as requested on the bookmobile grant project. All in favor? Aye. Next one was our last month, we had received a school contribution request. If you don't remember it, I have it here. Around. They were requesting funding to support the Kickapee, I don't know what it's called, the monogram polo shirts for staff. They told us the total cost for those shirts would be, I want to say it was $2,500. What's that in the 2,300, sorry. We had talked about it during our budget development from Paul, Joan and I, and we said we would bring it back to the board as a whole, and see what your thoughts are on this. To remind you, within our budget that we adopted, let's see if I can find it really fast. We do earmark certain funds going to the schools, for the schools donation. And so I would refer you back to your budget request to look at all the things that we do provide to the schools. It doesn't mean we can't do this on top of it or part of, but it's a brand new request for us for these contributing or something towards stature.
One of the things that we also discussed was, a desire to allocate so much fixed amount to an organization and let them decide how they want to spend it, as opposed to asking for individual requests. And we ought to consider that too.
We got $1,500 in the budget, so. And that normally goes to like the best student.
That plus the closet, kids closet. Murphy managed that.
I thought we donated some money last year.
I think we did.
I don't remember how much it was.
I don't know.
Paul, do you remember, did we give the money last year for shirts?
No.
Bring the microphone closer, Katie.
Did we give the money last year for shirts?
The money last year for shirts? No.
Oh, no, okay. Because it's not fair.
Those shirts are pretty expensive.
They don't say.
They don't, we don't say no.
Frankly, I'm sort of getting resistant to it. I can just sort of see how I can get loose school and the students. That's, I'm being screwed.
That was completely distorted. I couldn't hear a word.
Libby's not in favor of it.
Yeah, I think the money could be better used at the school than for T-shirts. Or polo
So they would
shirts.
wear these during the school day.
Yes.
Well, I'm screwed.
And I mean, I understand, you know, the unity and, you know, all that too, but $2,300. I think, did they even have the cost per shirt in there?
They did not provide it to us, no.
No,
Don't have a number, a quantity or a cost per shirt. So, I mean, come on. So, I mean, we don't even know how many they're requesting.
So do you either want more information? I can ask them to elaborate on the request of quantity and cost per.
Didn't they give us the total cost?
For donations from many other sources besides the Rotary, and then.
What's that message?
Part of the money, oh, amount.
I don't know, it may not be all, of it, you know, I mean, that may just be part of it, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure they have.
$2,300 is a lot of money, for sure.
Well, I mean. Polo shirts are not cheap, but, you could get an embroidered polo shirt from Eastern Shore. Signs for probably, $20. So, I mean, there's no information on it about. So. Yeah, we'd like to have more information. Cost the shirt, do they go to more than one, do they go to more than one, person, you know, or what?
All I can say is they just said staff. So I can ask them to elaborate, does that mean teachers, aides,
Right,
cafeteria, janitorial, staff?
How much material, how
How
many
many cost per the number, and any other donations, contributions from the fund. Any other questions? Okay,
Could I would this be an appropriate time to ask for a charitable donation to another school project?
wait your turn.
Okay. Yes, Mom.
We'll come up under number 4 then. So, moving on to the supervisor's request, I will give you some answers. We also received, and I'm not even sure, I think I distributed the last meeting, I was positive, so I need copies again. Oh, no, I didn't, I couldn't get that one, a copy. There is the request from the clock folks. There it is, sorry. For Mark Godfrey, he has put in a request for funding support up to $1,000 for the clock for the downtown Cape Charles, recognizing the 100th anniversary. He hopes to get this installed sometime this fall. He's given us a whole proposal here, so I'm gonna pass that around and what it looks like. I think there's been, again, tweakage over the signage or style of the clock, and Bill may know more of this. But this is being done in coordination with the Main Street organization. So Bill, if you wanna elaborate a little.
Okay, so this is not finalized yet. But there were 2 clocks mentioned, and initially Mark came out with the cheaper clock. The cheaper clock does not look as nice as the more expensive clock, so I think he's on board now with the more expensive clock, which is called the Drummond clock. And there's an option, there's a 2-phase clock. That's what he initially bid, and so gonna go with the Strawberry Street Plaza. The town has the money to put in the base. Don't know what the height of the base is gonna be, but the base will be high enough where it will hold plaques. And that's where we'll have a plaque honoring our 100th anniversary and other things. So the 2-phase, everybody thought, had their own thoughts on the 2 faces. And so we asked our design committee at Cape Charles Main Street to tell us what their thoughts were. And they came back and said that the 2 faces should face north and south. And that everybody else thought it should face east and west. I said, okay, what is that? So, because people walking along Mason Avenue would see it, not Strawberry Street. So the bottom line is that will be a board vote by Cape Charles Main Street, and I'm pretty sure that it will be. I'm not saying it for sure, but I think the majority think east and west, just like citizens for Central Park. Okay, so that said. He said, well, what's the cost of a 4-phase clock? That way everybody can see it, right? Well, that's like double the cost, and that's just cost prohibitive. So, Mark said he had $8,500, then somebody backed out, so we only had $7,500. And the total cost of the clock is like $13,000.
No. They're on eight.
No,
Around
that's,
the end, there's installation costs.
that's not the Drummond clock.
The money.
That's right.
That's the one.
Money you raise money for.
I know that,
Okay.
but we said we need to go.
Now
with
you want more, slightly more expensive.
So one of the reasons he's asking for a donation, Cape Charles Main Street will provide a donation as well, okay?
Oh.
So, it's doable, okay? The installation is gonna be done by the town, so the town's gonna absorb that, so. What's that?
And maintenance.
There is no maintenance.
There will be maintenance once in a while. There will be maintenance occasional, I'm sure it comes with some sort of thing, but the town did it. So that said, I'll make a motion that we contribute $1,000 to the bond.
So Bill has made a motion for 1,000. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
A second from Libby. Any discussion? You see him?
Thank you.
Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Perfect. Okay, and I now hear from the minions in the crowd. They want to add something to the agenda. Jim, you're up.
Thank you. We have in the past given, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, $250 to the music department of Northampton High. They are going to have a fundraising concert on the 15th.
Of September.
Yep, featuring Alvy Powell and Caroline, his wife, Caroline Powell, who is the music director. The music programs won several awards at the end of last year. And it's potentially a way to spur on excellence in the schools, get kids involved. So I would like to ask that we give $250 to that. By the way, that buys us a performance, if we so desire, at one of our weekly meetings. We probably have only the senior choir this coming year. Last time we did this, it was we overstretched the capacity of small, but at any rate, it would make a nice weekly program.
Paul, did you hear that at all?
You're on mute, Paul.
I did hear that better. I heard most of it. So what are you proposing, Jim, now again?
$250 to the high school music program.
But I can hear Jim, but I can't hear you. I don't think the microphone on the table's working at all. I think I could hear Jim fine. Is Jim sitting beside Bill?
Yeah, but that's the mic that's on. The computer mic isn't on.
Well, I hear Jim, Bill, I hear you very clearly, and I heard Jim quite clearly.
Okay, what we'll do is move the mic over here. Maybe you guys.
Well, I think you're
Funny
using the
mic.
mic on the. So.
Want to make sure he heard it.
So.
Okay.
What?
Well, just in brief.
You what?
Katie, talk. So somebody over there talk.
Can
you hear me now?
I could hear that, yes.
Yeah, he can hear better over.
I think you should take the computer
No,
on
leave
the
it here.
table.
Leave it here.
So does anybody have any questions or discussion?
Maybe you're using both. Maybe you're using both microphones. But I could hear Bill Payne and Jim Rich clearly when the microphone was on the table, and when Libby talked, it was horrible. So, Jim, were you making a motion, or were you just talking about a proposal?
Motion that we give $250 to the high school music program. This is Libby.
Got a motion from Libby Wright, second
I say.
from Bill Strand. All in favor? Aye. It passes, Paul.
There's no way I can do minutes of this meeting from this, what I'm hearing and when in the recording.
Why don't you take this to the table?
It's the mic.
Anyway. Okay.
The mic works from a distance, it seems.
funding requests. I think if there's not a specific one, Joan just wanted to take conversation, what is our tradition or practice to actually release the funds for all of the earmarked donations that we made during the course of the year? Does somebody want to explain what we've done in the past and how we want to do it moving forward?
Okay, Bill, it's worse now, so put the microphone back on the table.
Paul's the one that needs to talk. Paul, so you need to.
Yes.
Can you enlighten us on, all the donations and how the club goes about distributing those donations? Do they wait until a certain time, or do you do it when they ask for it, or do we go out to them and specifically and say, you want funds?
I don't know why I'm having such trouble hearing. The
Have you got your hearing aids on?
No,
so
Paul,
I didn't
think he's
understand the
asking,
question.
I think he's asking if funds are budgeted,
Yes,
can they just administratively be dispersed? Or do they need approval by the board before the checks are actually written?
funds to what?
Charitable donations.
Oh, the way I always approached it is that if the funds were budgeted, they weren't, that didn't mean they were authorized to be spent yet. I always came back to the board to get board approval of expenditures, because when you start approaching the end of the year, your situation may have changed a lot from what you budgeted for.
Yeah, that's what I recall. When I was president, we had to vote on the items individually, and then at the end of the year, there were a bunch of things in the budget that we had paid out yet, so Paul brought them up one by one and we voted on them.
Well, then the second question is, did we need a request from the organization for the money?
Well, again, if it was an organization that we had traditionally supported, and if it was budgeted, then I didn't feel we needed a written request from the organization again for the funds. For example, we have a standing policy to donate $250 to the soccer league, and once the board authorized it, the $250 was sent. I didn't ask for another request from the soccer league.
Okay,
As long as they had received money before, any new group, we wouldn't give it to any group we hadn't dealt with before.
We want, ideally, we'd like a written request from those people, yes.
The clock.
And
They mark it out.
we weren't hard and fast and rigid about things, but we tried to get a written request from each organization that was new to the club.
and at this point, just so everybody's aware, that form, that you saw, the one-page form, it's available on our website. So if any organization reaches out to you and wants to know, how do I ask for a contribution from Rotary, directly fill out that form. And then what I've been telling them is email it, just to me, that's fine. If they want to send it to the whole board, they can, because all of our emails are listed, or all of our names are up on the website with an email. Okay? That way we all get informed at the same time with what's coming up on the future agenda. Okay, anybody else, anything with contribution, budget? Bill?
The Edward Jones School Supply / Kip to Peak backpack scheme that Paul has come up with. No, serious.
You want to explain that a little more, Padre, over there?
Yeah, every year We've donated $500 to Edward Jones School Supply project, and some people brought things in addition to that. In addition, we bought backpacks for Kip to Peak, $500 worth. So Paul suggested, Paul, I don't want to talk for you, but you
Go ahead.
suggested that we combine the two and kill two birds with one $500 stone by buying the school backpacks and sending Edward Jones a letter saying, look, we're contributing $500 to Kip to Peak in terms of book packs. And
Yes.
Paul and Paul always ordered the book packs and had them drop shipped, right, Paul?
Backpacks, yes.
Backpacks.
That's in the budget.
We have it in the budget, so we have a motion that we use $500 specific for backpacks being purchased as our contribution toward the supply drive.
Okay, kind of,
Clarification?
well, unless we, before the vote, for the vote, we have a discussion. Okay, so I'll second, and then just a question. So what does that mean for us individually? We will not bring in, we still do.
No, from individual members, we will still do our drive for the school supplies and contribution to that. But from the club as a whole, our $500 will be very specific for purchase of backpacks.
Okay.
And adding to that discussion, being in other groups and a lot of groups are given to Jones. And he makes a significant deal of it's being divided between Northampton County and Accomack. So since we're here in Accomack, I feel very comfortable. We're in Northampton. No, we're going nothing. Let's talk the rural health, so. Yeah. We're here in Northampton County. Okay, we're here in rural, Northampton County and feel very comfortable.
That's the nice thing about it. We know that goes Kip to Peak.
He knows it's going here and not half of what we're giving going up there.
So we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Thank you.
So again, Joan, you'll coordinate with Paul, because he'll do the purchasing.
Yeah. Well, Paul, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And that's basically the way summer school
Yes.
is going.
Yes, the $500.
That's really the average on backpack. Thank you. Sorry. Well,
Yes. Okay. I had one last item that I put on the agenda, just because there was some conversation the last few weeks, I thought it was worth us to clarify and confirm. 2 years ago at the board meeting of October 11th, it was discussed and agreed that a member would receive attendance credit for later viewing of a board meeting on YouTube/Zoom if viewed within 1 week of the meeting and notifications provided to the secretary and or resident. This has come up recently again, so we're just trying to confirm and clarify this policy, and are we still good with it? Yay or nay?
Yeah.
Yay. Okay, excellent, affirmed. Anybody else have any items for today's agenda? Nothing, here and none, just a reminder, tonight, we're over at the coach house for our district governor's dinner. We're gonna be at 4:45 to meet with the district governor, she'd like to meet with the boards of the 3 clubs. The drinks start flowing at 5.
So where specifically is that going to be?
I think they're gonna give you a little room,
Okay, all right,
yeah. So,
all
we're
right.
working on that detail. Could be the hallway for all I know.
It's a very nice staircase.
It is. You go all the way down.
I got a conference room upstairs.
I know, but so far, again, I don't know how many are really coming from the boards of Exmoor and.
Wow.
So. Okay, with that said, can we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? We finished before 1 o'clock.
You must have done some meetings before.